Hi everyone, Amy here. Welcome back to my channel, Paper Therapy with Amy. This is the Four Seasons Autumn paper pack. One sheet's missing from here, this one, and it's got this print on the back. And I will be using it, and there's a sticker sheet as well. I will be using it today. So I'm gonna bring in my absolutely favorite family photo to date. So I wanted to use, here, I have a piece here. This paper, because I feel like it really ties into my husband's hoodie. But the color isn't truly in this paper pack. It's an orangey color that's in it, and it doesn't really work. It's supposed to be nectarine, but it looks more orange than nectarine. Anyways, I do have an older color, this color, which is perfect. This is Poppy, and I don't want a lot because it's so bright, but I feel like it lends itself to this if it just shows a tiny bit. So I'm gonna start out, I've already started with, I want this as a frame, and I have a 2-page layout coming, but I'm gonna start with just a half, the first half. So let me get and I'll make the companion page after because I'm working with an 8x10 photo. So that's something different. Okay. Now I'm gonna put this here. So I've inked around the edge to kind of like take down some of the brightness of it. And then this is where I want to add some of the wood grain colored paper. And I found this title. I think it came from the Crisp Air workshop. There was a whole sheet of punch outs. Okay, so I want to put this here, but I also want to incorporate some of this paper. This is the Irresistibles, and I'm gonna put, so I think I'll need a white trim, and I am gonna cut some off the top here. But what I want to do is have some Irresistibles here because this title will not show up on here, right? So I was thinking to do like a tanny color like my jacket. It's actually kind of a green, an army green, but I think I'll just do toffee. And I think that will kind of tie in this to my jacket. I used toffee ink and our blending brush, the Close to My Heart blending brush, and circular motions seem to work the best. Although going every which way is kind of wise because you really want that resist pattern to show up. So you're just kind of trying to get in between all the lines. Once I had completed the toffee across the whole piece of paper, then I did add a little bit of espresso just around the edges. And then I used a sponge, like with the little tool, the sponge tool, and I just inked around the edge just like I do with my other scrapbooking papers before I do the layout. And then you just wipe off the resist pattern. I just use a tissue here. Okay, so here we are. I've inked this, and I think, do I want it to go all the way across? All these decisions. Do it like this, and then I think I'm gonna do the brown on top and bottom like this, but I don't want to put the brown underneath if I don't have to. I'd like to save it, so it'll be like that. Just these two sides are, and then it would be, come down some, and I'm definitely gonna trim some off the top of this. I took about 3/4 of an inch off the top of my 8x10 photo to give me some more space to put the title and embellishments underneath. At this point, I was still hoping to use this These Moments title. It does end up changing, but you'll see that as the video progresses. And I trimmed in White Daisy and did some inking around the edge. If you stay tuned to the very end of this video, you will catch a sneak peek of the pictures I'm going to use on the companion layout. I wanted to add the brown paper in behind, covering most of the poppy paper, but I also wanted to save as much as I could from it. So I ended up gutting out the piece that's behind the large photo and leaving it blank behind the plaid piece of paper as well. And so it looks like it's behind everything, but I've saved those pieces for the companion page. Another thing I really wanted to incorporate was this zip strip, which I do end up using, but just not in the full length that I'm doing here. I have pre-cut some embellishments. I did some layered leaves that are from my stash, and I also used this brand new stamp set has a chevron. So I cut out a poppy colored piece of chevron for using for embellishing. I will link the stamp set down below. My reason for buying this stamp set was in part because it had 2 thin cuts that could be used without the stamp. So I thought that was pretty handy. The layered leaves thin cuts are long gone. They're from a while back, but you can find all kinds of leaf die cuts now from Close to My Heart and stamps as well. So recreating this layout wouldn't be that hard. Your embellishments might be a little bit different, that's all. This is where I brought in the sticker sheet to start looking for some more embellishments on the sticker sheet. And I found this Thankful and Blessed banner. And I end up trying it out on the page and I just really, really like it. And so I tried to keep the moments for a while. I moved it here, there, and everywhere. I cut a big chunk out where I had it on the other side of the page. I had it all over the place, but I just couldn't get it to work. So I did not end up putting it on the page, and maybe I'll be able to put it on the companion page. I moved my craft room around, and you'll have to bear with me as I try and figure out the best way to film with my south-facing window. This is where I was adding the title, and I added my chevron pieces in now. I keep wanting to call them rickrack. Do you remember the rickrack ribbon we used to have that we had sewn on our dresses back in the 80s? So because of that, I decided it needed some stitching lines. So here I just took a brown pen and I added a little bit of stitching lines to each of the little pieces of chevron. I'm just looking on the sticker sheet and I did find a little heart to add in, a little heart banner, or maybe it's an arrow. I added it to the top cluster, the top left-hand cluster, and I'm going to call this layout done. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done that yet. And tune in next week where you will see me scrapbooking these photos from the rest of the family photo shoot. I hope you have a wonderful day and the rest of your week, and bye from me. See you next time.